All right, we're going to take a look at a pallet shipment. So lots of customers that we have buy things on full pallets, usually one item on one pallet, or they manufacture with pop or shop floor, and they produce items to a full pallet. Those full pallets we call floating pallets. So inside Macola knows that an item could be bin controlled, an item could be lot or serial controlled, but Macola doesn't know anything about a pallet. But WiSys has a complete pallet layer. And so I'm going to be able to show you the movement of pallets and getting them on a truck prepared for a shipment. So WiSys provides for pallet shipping. We're going to acknowledge that the truck is loaded. So it's one thing to build the shipment. It's another thing to know that the truck has been loaded. And we're going to do a capture of a picture of each pallet that we put on the truck. And we want to do that because sometimes you have a particular customer that seems to like to give you the chargeback. And if you have good evidence, you can fight those chargebacks and save a few bucks. And we're also going to capture a signature. Some people want to get a signature of the driver that picked it up, and we're going to do that. Okay. Now the thing you need to know about this tablet, let me show you what it looks like. This is a Samsung Tab 8. It's about 300 bucks. I added a ruggedized case and a screen protector to this. It also on the back has a place for a kickstand if you want to just stand it up, or you can just stick it on your hand like that. Makes it kind of easy to use. So, and I've also added to this a ring finger scanner. So I'm going to put on my little ring finger scanner. You can see me flashing. And I'm going to log into the tablet. Now, you're going to be watching over here. I'm going to log in. And so I am now logged in to the tablet. So in this particular example, I'm going to touch the wrong thing. I'm going to touch the right thing. I'm going to switch to the pallet section, and I'm going to do something called load pallets. So I'm going to load pallets, and I'm going to build a shipment. I'm not actually going to load the truck yet. I'm just going to line up all the pallets, put it all together. So here, I'm going to hit the Enter key. I'm going to get a new shipment number, just like I did using the other application you saw. And I'm now going to scan with my ring finger scanner the order number. This is the pick ticket order number. And then I'm going to scan the item. And now it wants to know the item pallet that goes with that. So I'm going to scan that. And it's really boring. I'm going to do the same thing as I put all these pallets together. And remember, somebody has probably moved these pallets from the warehouse to the shipping area. So I'm just building the shipment of the pallets that are sitting here. And I'm validating that these items and I'm associating these items and pallet numbers to this shipment number 449. And I have one more to go. So I have built the shipment. So that shipment now has been created with 449. If I go back into Macola and look at Agility for Macola here, you have full visibility of the status of this shipment. And that's the wrong one. And so here's 448. And that's still wrong. 449. There we go. So 449 has 3 pallets. You can see them here. pallet 1, pallet 2, 3, and you can see the item numbers that are on those pallets. Here are the carton numbers or pallet numbers. Here are the quantities, and here's the order number that I'm working on. If I wanted to ship this order right now, I could, but in my business, I want to know that the truck is loaded, and I'm also going to take a picture. So I'm going to bring up another little app here called Loaded Pallets. And if we look at 449, you'll see here's 449. Here are the pallets that are on that shipment. Have they been loaded on the truck? No. And the shipment has not shipped yet. So we just know where we are. And down below, you're now going to see me capture some images. So what I'm going to do now is you're going to watch me capture some images of these pallets that are loaded on my truck. So I'm going to touch this application right here called Load the Truck. And again, it wants to know what shipment number I'm going to work on, 449. And it wants to know that I'm putting this pallet on the truck now. So I do that, and I'm going to hit the button at the bottom. It says Load. And now it gives me an opportunity to take pictures. So here is you can see my WiSys pallet there with the pallet number 677. And I just hit the picture button and click OK. So you can see there's a little picture. I could take more pictures. Maybe you want to take a couple of pictures of each pallet. Just depends on your business. In this case, I'm done. I'm going to go to the next one. You can see there on the screen that pallet 677 was captured. Let's do another pallet. So here's 678. I'm going to take a picture of that pallet, click OK, and I'm good. Save it. Now what's happening is, let's go back over here to the database, and I need to hit this refresh button up here at the top. It'll refresh the database. So now you can see as I touch these two pallets here on the screen, I've got data down below that shows the date and time and things like that when Joe the worker packed this truck with this box. If I want to look at it, I can click it and I can actually see the picture on the truck or pictures right there related to it. If I click the last one, you can see here I haven't done this one yet, so there's no data. Okay, so let's go get the last one. All right, so I'm going to scan the last pallet, load, picture, and here's my last pallet. And I've saved those. Now you also notice at the top of the screen, there is a little stick for a pencil. And if I click that, it'll now let me sign the screen. And I've signed the screen, and I've captured my signature. So that's taken care of. Okay, so once I'm finished with that, typically you can do a couple of things. One, I closed that application. Sitting right here for 449, if I wanted to, there's the ship button right here. So I can actually confirm ship the truckload from the scan gun right here. So I'll just push the ship button, and it wants a signature again. Get that. And I'm pretty much done. Now, if we go back over to Macola, the first thing is I think we should just look here at 449. And now we have all the different pallets here configured. And just to show you what's happening, there's a setup in Agility, and that setup is going to show me where I can send that data. Now I created a little desktop folder here. And you can see here that the items, these are the pallets, these are the images of the pallet that I just took. So there's a number of images here and a signature. So you get a signature to go with the order, and it's kept in this folder so that you can actually get them if you need them very easily. And you can also manage them and delete them, after a year or something, maybe you don't need them anymore. You can come in and just delete these images. They are rather small in size. You can see this is a very small image. Customers that we have worked with said we don't need big images, we can do small ones to save some space. Because you can imagine if you're shipping hundreds and hundreds a day, you're going to end up with lots of images. Okay, and if we come back to Agility on the desktop, if I look at 449, you'll see that the status is shipped for 449. And if I want to print off paperwork here, I can do that. Paperwork with WiSys is dynamic. And I just type 449, and it'll bring up the paperwork here that goes with that. And even a bill of lading if you want. Now, because WiSys is object-oriented, it means that you can put this process together the way that's going to best work for you. So button clicks, movement, numbers of pictures, requirements, all those things can be tailored if you want. So today what I'm showing you is just more simple examples of how WiSys works to enable your process to be more fluid, to be more efficient, get that order velocity and accuracy going, and really reduce the errors.